Welcome to First Presbyterian Church, Boise. In 1878, we began a faith community here in downtown Boise. We moved to this location between 9th and 10th on State Street in 1895, but then you would have seen the sanctuary right here with its steeple high above the rest of the city. We would have entered at this door, but it wouldn't have been the fellowship hall, which it is now, because over the years, this building's changed a lot. A lot of building campaigns, additions, takedowns have had this be a shifting community and a shifting building. So after the sanctuary moved in the 50s, we built a fellowship hall here in the 1960s, one which we refurbished about 10 years ago with the Footsteps campaign and turned what was turning into a well-used space into a beautiful fellowship hall and kitchen. We're ready now to take the next step. Come step with me. Don't worry, I'll remember where I put that. Hello, Marilyn.
Hello.
Good to see you. So as you enter into this part of the building, this is actually what I call building number 4. In the 90s, we combined 3 separate standalone buildings into one by putting this addition on. But sometimes we struggle to figure out how to really live into that space. So one of the things we're going to do with the next step is we're going to actually organize the furniture and the look of this space so that we actually know how to use it. Keep coming on here with me. This beautiful garden space was the front lawn of the original church with this education building from around the late 20s. 1829 was when it was dedicated. Here, we have a space we've never known how to use, other than maybe a closet without a door. And here we're going to tell the story of the church. We'll do a photographic timeline. We'll find ways to highlight some of the artifacts we love and love dearly, but haven't known where to put. So here you'll see the history of the church. As you welcome you in this door, what we're going to get is this really beautiful visual. We're going to have a coffee bar here that says, hey, get a cup of coffee, stay a while. We're going to have some high top tables and some low comfortable seating. We're going to redo the curtains on the window. We're going to spruce up the paint. You're going to look at this wall and we're going to dress that wall up a little. We're going to say, this is the day the Lord has made, just as we do in worship. And you'll say, let us rejoice and be glad in it. We're going to rejoice in this space. So we'll invite you in. We'll think about how are we welcoming you, how are we offering our whole and beautiful selves to you. As you walk into the narthex, then we're going to note another change. In 1952, when we built this sanctuary, the narthex was built to be a quiet space. Ceilings are intentionally low, they're intentionally dark. We wanted to tell you to get quiet before God. Now we don't want you to be quiet. We want you to make a joyful noise. So we're going to try to lighten this space up and make it feel a little bit more like warm and intimate rather than stifling. Oh, speaking of stifling, have you used the bathrooms over here recently? Did you get hit by one door while trying to go in the other? We're going to gut the bathrooms and start over. We're going to get rid of the women's parlor. I know sometimes we have to lose some things. We have to let some stuff go to get new next steps in. We're going to put a new wall in so we can expand the men's and the women's bathroom to ADA compliant. We're going to add stalls. We're going to add sinks. You're going to love the fact that you can actually use the restroom and you don't mind taking a friend in there and saying, it's okay to use this bathroom. Come on into the sanctuary, because this is going to be beautiful. It's going to be the heart of it all, just like worship is the heart of our life with God. You're going to walk in here, and what you're going to see is a totally new thing. We're going to highlight the organ, an instrument that we know and we love, so that you can see pipes, and you're going to feel that sort of reverent sense of the awe and majesty of God, and we're going to build that with a visual right in the front. We're going to angle these pews a little bit instead of the straight design so you can get a sense of the fact that it's not just me before God, but it's me in community with God in our midst. We're going to redo the flooring, which hasn't been touched in over 60 years. We're going to work on some of the acoustics of the room. We're going to try to love on the organ a little bit and help it sound to lead us in worship. And then we're going to redo the chancel completely. We're going to use the arc the carving of the arches of this sanctuary, which is the primary feature of its sense of building an ark and of sanctuary, and we're going to model that in the chancel. We're going to curve the front with a hardwood steps. We're going to have everything be mobile and agile. The choir will move to risers in the center, so they're actually facing us and singing to us, and we'll be able to move around how we want to order our worship on the chancel. It's still going to be holy, sacred space, but it's going to be completely flexible to the multiple ways 21st century worship wants to happen. Speaking of 21st century worship and protecting spaces, come into the chapel. The chapel is this gorgeous space. We love it. We're not really sure how to use it, and the ways it does get used today aren't fed by this current setup. So we're going to take the pews out. The pews are going away. And I know this is going to make you sad, but so is the green shag carpeting. It's gone. We're going to pull out the front. We're going to redo the floor. And one of my favorite aspects, we're going to put a labyrinth on the floor, a spiritual walk space that we can open up to the community, that they can come and they can do guided meditation through that walk. We're going to put a sound system in, small sound system, a little bit better lighting so that people can have contemplative music. And then there's going to be chairs, the same chairs we use with the choir. So we could set it up as a traditional sanctuary. We can set it up and worship in a circle. We can set it up for children's chapel, however we want to do that. We're going to bring a piano in here, get rid of the old electric organ, and just make this a space that holds on to this beautiful sacred architecture, but is, again, usable in so many different ways. While we're thinking about these things, yes, we're going to try to change the controls to the lighting. We're going to try to change controls to the sound so that we make all these things digital. This space was built in 1952. They had no ideas of the electrical, sound, and lighting demands of the future. We want to respect what this was built to be and highlight that for the next 100 years. Now we're going outside. So we're kind of used to this. We know that our church operates as much off of this alleyway than State Street. Not always our favorite attribute, but it is. And yes, hello Boise High construction. So some of the phases of this next step program will have to wait until the Boise High program is done. But if all goes well, they will have resurfaced the alleyway, and then we have to take the next step from that work to the work we're going to want to do. So, as many people as here on Sunday, there are even more here during the week, but many of you don't know that because they're not us. They're our partners in ministry. We house over 12 step groups during the week. We also house the YMCA full-time daycare and after-school elementary program. That's 120 some kids, up to 140 during the summer, and that's as many as 200 adults to those 12 step groups. And this is their entryway. They have to see through this HVAC system and the ugly fence to know, oh, somehow that's where we're supposed to take our child and drop them off for preschool. If you're coming to an AA group, which wanted their own entrance so they don't have to trudge through the church, you go up that totally not to code, not entirely self-fire escape from 1929. So we're going to redo it all. We're going to pull it all out. We're going to take the HVACs. We're going to put them up. We're going to put them up on the roof with the rest of the HVAC system. We're going to take that shed and move that out to the side. Punch a new door so that when you come down this alleyway, you look straight in the door of the preschool and you go, "Oh, that's where I take my kid." We're going to put a new covered walkway that'll be to code, so it'll come all the way out to the edge of the alleyway and take a turn because it's got to have certain kind of landings. It'll also be covered and deeper, wider foot stairwells to it. A whole new cement footer underneath that and better lighting. It'll actually feel like a wonderful, warm entry point and not like, oh, by the way, we've sort of taken care of you, our partner ministries. Let's dare the staircase for a moment. Hey, oh, stop to admire corrugated metal roof. Yeah, we're going to take care of that too. The 6th floor. You didn't know it existed, did you? It is the old Rowlett Hall. We have a quilting room, a Bible study room, the room used by the AA groups, an old office, and all original flooring, all original windows. So we're going to come in here, and this ugly stained, worn out carpeting. We're going to put all new flooring down. From 604 to the quilting room to Rowlett Hall to this hallway, we're going to give its floor the love it deserves, including this old fellowship hall flooring, because in 1929 this was their fellowship hall. Tables lined up, dumbwaiter bringing the food up from the kitchen. You can see that in the old construction of the ceiling and of the floor and of these wonderful, totally inefficient windows, which are letting in all the cold air right now. Well, in a traditional winter, it would be cold air. But we're going to replace all these windows to get really good return on our investment, to be able to actually heat and cool the 6th floor effectively, which we really can't do right now because pretty much all the heat leaks like a sieve in the winter and the air conditioning the same in the summer. This will be the last of the next step when we get this space taken care of, because it's important for us to take care of the space our neighbors use just as much as we take care of the space that we use. We're excited about the next step. This building is full of steps. We've been taking steps here since 1878. We took steps on this property beginning in 1895, and in this whole building, we will continue to take next steps. Not for us alone, but for the generation that comes after us, just as the generation before us took care of us. It's time. Let's take the next step together.